Welcome friends to this new video of Sapphire Talks English. In this video we shall discuss the impact of the Iran, US and Israel war on the European economy. We will try to assess how this war has affected the European economy. Friends, all of you would be aware that before the Ukraine war started, Europe was buying all its gas as well as crude oil from Russia. Europe used to get the Russian oil as well as natural gas at very cheap rates, and that was really helping power up the European economy. But after Europe shot itself in its own foot and declared war on Russia and started supporting Ukraine, the situation went from bad to worse as the entire supply to the European Union as well as to the United Kingdom moved away from Russia and towards the Middle East. Now that this war in the Middle East has started, the situation has become very dire for Europe, because now it has locked itself away from both its vendors. The earlier vendor was Russia and the present vendor is Middle East. As far as the Middle East is concerned, the situation is not really something the Europeans can control, but whatever the situation has emerged, Europe has to deal with it, and the unfortunate part is that now Europe is really squeezed for its supplies for natural gas as well as for crude. There are various indices in Europe which measure consumer sentiment. There is one such index called the S&P Global UK Consumer Sentiment Index, which measures the consumer sentiment as far as their economy and their prospects are concerned. Now this index should ideally be at 50. 50 would be a neutral position whereby the consumer sentiment is neither good nor bad. Unfortunately, since January, the sentiment has been negative. In January, the sentiment was measured at 48.5. It fell further in February to 44.8. And after the war started in March, it fell further to 44.1. Therefore, it is clear that at least in the UK, the consumers are not very positive or very you can say happy about the prospects that are there for them in the future, in particular after the war has started. I would like to add here that 8 out of 10 Britons feel that since the war has commenced, they will have to cut down upon their unnecessary spending and focus only on those items which are absolutely necessary for them. All this indicates that UK is staring at a recession and the consumers are not feeling too good about opening up their wallets and spending their money. Further, in the euro area also, the confidence has slipped from an average of -10. I would like to divert here and mention that -10 in itself is not very good, but now the consumer confidence has slipped from -10 to -12.2 in February and to -13 after the war has started. So just like the UK, the euro area consumers also do not have a very positive sentiment. Now friends, many of you may wonder why consumer sentiment is so important. It is important because unless the consumers feel positively about their economy, they will not open up their wallets and go out and make purchases. As long as the consumers do not make purchases, there is nothing really to power up the businesses in that community as well as in the country and as well as the global businesses. So if the consumer sentiment is dropping, it indicates that the countries are moving towards a recession, and consumers will definitely not pull out their wallets and increase their spendings. It is safe to say that the business sentiment generally follows the consumer sentiment. Since the consumer sentiment is negative, the business sentiment in UK and the Eurozone is also in the negative. I would like to point here that before the war started, there was a 75% probability that the Bank of England, which is UK's central bank, would cut the interest rates and make cheap money available to businesses as well as consumers for the purpose of their business and private spendings. But after the war has started, there is already a fear of inflation due to increase in crude prices. So the probability of Bank of England doing rate cuts has dropped from the earlier 75% to just 15% now, which means that money is not going to get cheap anytime soon, and this is definitely going to affect negatively the business sentiment. If we look at the Eurozone, the European Central Bank, which is the central bank for the Eurozone, is more or less poised to hike the interest rates. Now here we are talking about hiking the interest rates, forget dropping the interest rates, sometime around June or July. This is what is coming out of the news outlets and through various media reports. The reason for this is the ECB has one important mandate, and that is to control the inflation in the Eurozone. If this war continues and crude prices continue shooting up, then the only thing that the ECB can do is to increase the interest rates, reduce the money supply in the economy so as to ensure that inflation does not go out of hand. Another major index that we can look at is the Stoxx 600. Now, Stoxx 600 is something similar to the Sensex and Nifty that we have in India. The Stoxx 600 has also fallen by 5.6% since the past 1 month since the war has started. Now, if we look at the sentiment of the German investors, it is as bad as in the rest of the Eurozone as well as in the UK. So all this indicates that the Eurozone and UK may be looking at a recession sooner than later. The Iran war single-handedly has added 0.2% to 0.4% to the inflation rate in the Eurozone as well as in the UK. All of you would be aware that even before the war started, the consumers in the UK were complaining a lot about high energy prices and higher fuel bills. This was more or less the situation even in the Eurozone. But now, with the Strait of Hormuz closed and Russia also permanently shut for the Europeans, it looks very unlikely that their energy costs are going to go down anytime soon. So definitely there would be inflation in the coming months and coming years. Now, all of this would depend a lot upon how long this war gets prolonged. If this war is, let's say, over in let's say a week or so, the Europeans may still breathe a sigh of relief. But if this war continues, let's say, for a few months or maybe an year, the situation in Europe is definitely going to be very difficult. There are going to be rising costs, and energy bills as well as fuel bills for cars and transportation are going to shoot up radically. So friends, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have really liked this video, please subscribe to my channel, go on my channel, go to the video and like this video over there also. If there's anything new regarding this issue, I will definitely make a new video for you. Till then, I bid you goodbye. See you in my next video. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.